Alexis, congratulations on your engagement. How does it feel to be an engaged woman?
Well, I've been here before, but
Right? Yes.
this is the final and it feels amazing.
Yeah, it does. Were you completely shocked? I mean, I know that you've been talking about engagement and taking next steps, but how he did it and everything like that, was that completely surprised?
Yes, I was completely surprised. I knew it was coming, but I just thought it would be a little bit down the road. We have a lot of negative energy around us right now, if you know what I memean. So I thought he would wait a couple more. I was honestly thinking probably November because that would have been our 1 year and the show would have been done airing. And I just in my mind, I don't know why. So I thought I had a few more months to be single. Well, not single, but
Right.
not fiancé.
Not Beyonce. Did you have any say in the ring, anything like that?
Of course. No, I'm kidding. We did go ring shopping and we picked out a couple, like three, and yeah, he of course chose the best one.
It is beautiful. It really is. Can you kind of walk me through the proposal?
Yeah, it was so he took me to San Isidro Ranch, which is a very exclusive, quiet, probably the most romantic place I've been so far. We were at dinner and he went to the restroom and I was trying to put out a fire at home on my phone. And so he told me after the fact that he was like, when I was on the phone trying to help one of my kids, he was in his jacket, like trying to get the ring out. And then he did it without me seeing it. And then he said he stuck it down here. And then we were reminiscing about, because it was our 9-month anniversary. So we were reminiscing just about all the 9 months and our love for each other. And then he said something, I can't remember it all. And it's so frustrating because it's like such a special moment. But he had like kind of had tears in his eyes and he's just like, that's why I just can't wait any longer. And he pulled it out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like because we're at a restaurant, so
Right.
and there weren't very many people there. It's very exclusive, but yeah, it was awesome. I just started bawling and yeah.
That's
So
great. I mean, I know it just happened, so you're probably not even in wedding plan mode yet, but do you want to have a long engagement, short engagement? Are you in planning mode?
we actually are already
Okay,
planning.
nice.
We've actually visited one possible venue. It's really about locking the venue down. I'm assuming it'll probably be by next summer. It just depends on the venue, but we are doing a very unorthodox, unconventional wedding. I don't want to walk down another aisle, but my son did ask to give me to John, which I think is touching and it made me cry. So we're going to have to figure all of that out. And we're still working through some of the details. But once we find the venue, then it's full throttle because I'll be able to figure out what dress. I don't want a typical wedding dress. Like I said, I don't want to walk down the aisle. So, we'll start figuring out more details then.
Definitely. Are you looking forward to bringing your families together?
They already are. I mean,
Sure.
we've taken several family trips together. We're together. I mean, I feel like John and I are with one of our children, all because they're six,
Yeah.
and a few of them have significant others that are pretty much like they are part of our family too.
Right.
So there's 9 total, and we are always together. So the family's already blended. I mean, we're either on the boat or we're doing a family dinner or we're going to his parents' house. Like we're just one big Brady Bunch.
I love that. That's so wonderful. What was Jim's reaction? Does he have a nice relationship with John?
Yeah, well, John had been around a few times to family events like James's graduation, another party that we threw for James. So they had been in the same vicinity and met before. A track meet, I think, was one of them. And Jim did text me right after he found out and just said congratulations. So
That's great. I love that everybody is on board and feels great about this. And because like you said, you have been dealing with a lot of negative energy in the past couple months. What has that been like? Were you expecting that coming into this season? And how are the two of you kind of handling that, in the midst of your engagement and things like that?
well, the engagement is stronger than ever, and our relationship is stronger than ever. And I think in part it's due to the negativity. It's just brought us closer, and it's also shown us that we can pretty much make it through anything if we can make it through everything we've been through already in 9 months. But it has been really difficult, and I didn't expect it so much. I knew I was going to be the villain, and I was strong enough and felt okay doing that because it's like, how can the younger new girlfriend come into a group where the ex is there and has been there for 10 years in that group and not be the bad guy. And I was okay with that, and I was comfortable in that because of my love for John. I didn't expect it to be the level of hate that John and I have received. And it's honestly, we could handle it because we're adults and we're strong. It's now bleeding over into our children, and it's enough is enough, and it needs to stop. A whole new mama bear and a whole new papa bear come out when it's children involved, because we, like I said, we can handle it for ourselves. We know what this career entails. Definitely didn't know the level of hate that a couple would get just for falling in love and telling the truth, which is really where the hate is coming from. But now that our children are involved, it's a whole new thing we're dealing with, and it's enough's enough, and it's got to stop. It's our children. Like, everybody needs to back off.
Sure. Is it making you not want to maybe come back for another season?
There's a lot of things in play with any decision if I would want to come back again next season. That definitely plays into it. I don't think anybody wants to walk into an environment where pretty much 100% of the comments are hate comments. I think once the entire season is complete, I think that's going to definitely change. And I also feel and know that if everything had been shown and so much hadn't been left out this season regarding me and my story, this hate wouldn't be here. But I'm telling the truth, and I'm not in a popularity contest. I'm here to tell the truth. I'm going to live by my morals and the truth. And if I am not popular, I have God, and I have John, and I have my kids. So,
Yeah.
okay.
What up to this point do you wish was shown from your truth that hasn't been?
Every single scene I've been in, there's been very valid and very important information left out of the scene. So I see why the audience hates me. I would hate me too. If it was me watching me, I would be like, how can you like her like that? But it's just so much unknown that the audience isn't aware of and didn't see. And I mean, the first face-off that Shannon and I had, this is one example. I could sit here for an hour and tell you all. The one I could tell you this to start it off is the face-off that Shannon and I had. First of all, I had no idea she was going to pull me us outside that quickly. That scene was shown as I was the aggressor. That is not how it happened. She came at me for 25 or 30 minutes where I sat there with my mouth quiet, and she attacked me for 3 different things she was mad about. One was the lawsuit, my ex. You know, there were 2 other things, and I kept refuting them and saying, okay, Shannon, that's when I finally said, let's just get to the bottom here. Like, this is not what you're mad about. You're upset because she kept coming at me, and I was like, we're going to be here like all night with her yelling at me about stuff that's not what she's really mad about. And that's why I said, this is about me having the ex-boyfriend, and we're not going anywhere. So unfortunately, the audience saw one thing, the truth is another.
Definitely. Do you wish that you took John up on the money and not did this season then?
No, because I mean, I think that I was in a no-win situation. If I didn't film, he still would have been the topic of the whole freaking show, and I would have been there to tell the truth, because the truth is going to come out. So I don't regret it, and I don't necessarily wish I would have taken the money, because I don't want to be a kept woman again. Do I wish that maybe I would have filmed next season and let a year go by? Probably.
Yeah. You know, you speak of the truth. What exactly is this truth that you want to come out? That like John is not the person that Shannon says that he is, you know, what truth are we exactly talking about then?
Basically every single thing that Shannon has said about John, the opposite is true. There's evidence of all of it. It will all come out. And I don't want to go into details because I can't spoil anything, but I mean, when you're holding the truth and you know the truth, there's no room for error, and there's no lies that can be told. So, I mean, I'm going to stand in the truth, like I said, and I'm not worried about popularity. I'm going to stand in the truth.
I think when a lot of people watch this week's episode and John decides not to take the money from Shannon, I think a lot of people are like, you know, why can't he just take the money and move on? And, you know, he got what he wanted. Why kind of continue to have this tie with her? Can you explain?
yeah, once again, the truth wasn't told in that moment. Because one, I'll clear the truth up now. She wanted to not pay him the full amount. It was, I believe, a small down payment and then a monthly installments, which he was not going to do. He doesn't want to have to get a monthly installment from his ex. And then the non-disparagement clause that everyone's balking at. Why didn't he just sign that? He's not going to put a muzzle on himself when she's been disparaging him for 4 years and he just wants to be able to speak the truth. That's number one. Number two, what a lot of people don't consider is we'd been filming at this point for 3 or 4 months. And by the time the show airs, it would have been another 7 or 8 months. So any new lies that she would have wanted to concoct or bring out, he would have had a muzzle and never been able to speak the truth. So there's a lot more to it. And that's just one more to add to it. You know, he would very willingly just take the money and go, and he tried. And another point I want to make about this is everyone's questioning the timing of the lawsuit, and isn't that convenient? He had 2 days. She knew that he wanted his money back. John had 2 days before the stipulation, the statute of limitations was going to expire. And then he wouldn't have ever been able to get his money back. So, I mean, and the other part that really is frustrating is everyone's like, just walk away. And I don't know any wealthy person that's going to walk away from $75,000. Like, and if there is that person, I'd love to shake their hand because I wouldn't, you know, they both, and she says she spent money for the whole relationship. That's not true either. That's going to come out like he's not going to spend as much money as he did on her and then also let $75,000 go away when she has defamed him for the last 4 years. So, I mean, and I'm going to stand by my man, and I had nothing to do with the lawsuit. Okay. Let's make that very clear.
What will it take for this lawsuit to kind of go away? Because like you said, we're like 7 months later now.
Just for her to pay the money.
Okay.
Just pay the money she owes him.
Okay. So but like, are you hoping to wrap this up by the end of the season then? Like once everything is out there, then maybe we can come to some sort of agreement? Because I feel like probably both of you just want to move on at this point.
John has only wanted his money and to move on. He does not want to go to trial. We do have the evidence that we will win, and his attorneys feel very confident. And we don't want it to go there, but if you know, if that's where he's forced, then that's what'll happen. So all she needs to do is pay him the money she owes him.
Let's talk about these videos, because are you two the only ones that have seen these videos? Have any of the other ladies on the OC have seen these videos? Are they going to come out eventually?
We never intended for these videos to be discussed at a public forum. I did make the mistake at a knee-jerk emotion to say that, but I said it to my group of friends. I said it to Katie and Jen and Tamara, and we are all very good friends. And I was at a point, well, first of all, I was weak this season filming because I just lost my mom and I was emotional about the lawsuit and everything that was on my plate. I was a lot more, I feel like knee jerk is the good way to say it. And when I said that, I had another thing that wasn't shown is I had been prodded by the girls. They talk about, I'm never the one on any of the episodes that I bring John up or Shannon or the lawsuit up. It's always somebody coming to me, asking me, questioning me, you know, bringing him up, like, what about this? What about that? So I'm in a really no-win situation. If I don't answer the question, I look like I'm guilty of something. If I do answer the question, I look like I'm obsessed with talking about him. So it just was a really bad situation. And I did say it, but I never intended for Katie to go tell Emily. She has since apologized. And I also didn't expect Gina to tell Shannon. I mean, especially at a Sonoma party. So, you know, it just happened, and it's one of those things you can't take back. So we just have to move forward with it.
I know there's been a lot of fan chatter about like saying that John is using these videos as blackmail or extortion. What's your reaction to that? And what is the purpose of these videos? Like, are they going to come out? I guess.
If this was extortion or blackmail, John and I would already be in trouble, and things would have already been said. Okay. There is no blackmail or extortion because these are mutually exclusive. Okay. The lawsuit is one thing. The videos were a mistake that I said. John has never once ever said he would show the videos. He has never said, you know, anything. He's never even mentioned the videos. I'm the one that made the mistake and did it. And it was while filming a show. And I know that, and I feel horrible, but like I said, I was emotional, and it did just come out because I was kind of tired of talking about her and talking about anything. And I'm just like, what do I kind of wanted what was done on those videos, to be known, but I didn't need to necessarily say it in the way I did, or even at all in where it would become a public forum, like in this public forum. And I do wish I hadn't said it in that way.
So these videos will not see a public space.
They've never been intended to be in a public space.
Yes.
Now,
And
you know, if Shannon, which I would highly recommend, ever wanted to sit down and watch them, maybe at that point she'd finally take the accountability that she needed to be taking all along. She traumatized a lot of people on that one night and has never apologized. Even now, after knowing it for 3 months, she's never sent an apology to John, his daughter. But it's not just that. There's other videos that show it as a behavior that has happened several times. So it's not a one-off, and it's not just, you know, and the fact, I think part of the passion that I have coming in this season is because I do know what's on those. I have seen them. And it's really hard to love someone as much as I love him and not have 1 ounce of sorry come out of her, not 1 ounce of accountability come out of her. And in fact, to keep trying to defame him and take him down even further when we have the proof and the evidence of all the lies she said. It's just really hard. I mean, imagine being in my shoes and loving someone and knowing all of that and not getting 1 I'm sorry, or just having her back off. And honestly, that we wouldn't be here if she would have just stopped talking about him, owned that she made some mistakes in lying, and move on, and then pay him money. We wouldn't be where we are right now.
you know, Emily comes to you and, you know, kind of, you know, you were open to having a conversation with Shannon. She did not want to have a conversation with you. And Emily was like, you know, woman to woman, do you see things differently? Watching back this season at all, has your stance softened on Shannon at all? Watching her kind of go through this turmoil in her life?
I think my answer that I just answered summed it all up. I mean, because honestly, it's not my intent to take anyone down. It's not John's intent. And I know that that is the rumor out there. My intent is to tell the truth, not to be popular, not to have everybody on social media bow at my feet. It's not my goal in life. My goal in life is to tell the truth and be an honest, moralistic person. And, you know, I don't look back and think I wouldn't do things differently. I wouldn't have mentioned the videos in the public, like on a TV show. I would not have. And a lot of the girls did know about them from behind the scenes because I was carrying that, and they're my true friends. They would never have brought them up if I hadn't been so quick to say that, because I was fed up at that moment. But it is reality TV here. We do all make mistakes and say things we wished we hadn't said in that one moment. But all we need is an I'm sorry. That would go a long way, and just to stop defaming him. That would go a long way, and pay him his money. You know, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. 75,000 is not just like, okay, let's just go to the popsicle stand. I mean,
No, it is. It's a lot of money. When we are wrapped with this season of the show, what are you hoping fans think? And what kind of messages are you hoping that fans send you once this season wraps?
well, I mean, it's really been hard to film this season as a friend of, when I'm carrying a full cast member's storyline and I'm only getting shown at a friend level. Like, there's so many more dimensions to me. There are so many things that have been left out of my story and behind the scenes that I've been crying in about my mom, or just that show my heart and show the truth behind a lot of my actions. So I'm just hoping that by the end of the season, more of this is put together, like the puzzle pieces are put together, and people get to see the genuine, true Alexis, not a lot of what's been spliced to be on the TV show. So that's my goal.
Did John and Shannon film together? Because we do see in like the mid-season trailer that he does film this season. What was that
Well,
like?
I can't give away anything, but no, he does not film this season. There's one little cameo he makes for me, but he's not filming. So yeah, that didn't have to happen. And honestly, I don't think that'd be good for any of us.
No, I don't think so
I wouldn't
either.
want it. She wouldn't want it. He wouldn't want it. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you and Shannon are never going to be friends. You're never going to hang out ever again. But are you hoping that like the two of you can be in a room and be civil with one another, maybe just a
I've
hi,
made,
hello, and move on?
I've made that very clear the whole season. I wanted to clear this up with everybody. I have never wanted to be friends with Shannon. I don't think I could ever be friends with her, knowing what I know and seeing what I saw and just how she's taking John down. However, I am a woman enough that I could be civil and cordial and amicable, especially in a working environment, which is realistically what we are in together. I did make several attempts, oh, not just one hand, probably two hands, of attempts to just try to be civil enough to work for the sake of the ladies, because this is not easy for our friends. I mean, I went to bed many a nights just with stomach aches because I know how hard it is for them to be friends with her and me, and us all have to try to do our job, as well as stay friends. Because I'm in the middle of Tamara and Jen. I'm in the middle of Katie and Heather because I love all four of these women and they all have beefs going. So I know what it feels like for them to be in the position with me. And it really stinks because that's not my heart. And I don't like having like stress around. It's just, I live in a very zen place and I'm optimistic, but when the negativity is coming in, it's hard and I feel bad for the entire group. And I don't think on Shannon's side that she'd ever be able to just be civil. She just carries too much bitterness and too much, I don't know what it is, but I wish we could just be amicable adult women. I, I would, even knowing what I know, I would be amicable enough to do my job in the room with her and be kind and
Yeah.
leave it at that.
That's all you can ask for. What do you think of Tamara's CO2 peel?
Oh my God. I called her and I said, you have scared the I'm sorry, scared the bleep out of me forever doing anything. I'm going to grow old and be wrinkled because I'm never going to do that. And you're a couple years ahead of me, but like, I'm going to need it. And now I'll never do it because you're a freak right now. She laughed. She's like, "Oh, have you seen her yet? I think she posted her, I saw her on FaceTime, but I think she posted she looks so amazing already. And it's still like, I think the doctor said it would be at least another 2 or 3 weeks before it'll be like fully healed. So, I mean, go for her. I mean, hoorah, that woman is tough. Okay. Not just tough, but I mean, tough. Yeah. Hey, I mean, there's something coming up. You guys are gonna laugh your butt off if they actually air it. But like she takes her top off and goes down a water slide or whatever that slip and slide thing. And so you just don't know with her, and she just lets it all hang out.
She lets it all hang out. She really does. And she's not afraid to speak her mind. And I know that while she's kind of healing from this, I know that she's been dealing with some stuff with Vicky in the press. What was your reaction when Vicky did Vicky go too far making the comments about Tamara's daughter? I feel like when children get involved, it kind of goes a bit too far.
We're dealing with that now with the media, and our children are now getting involved. I am sorry. It's gross. It's the lowest of low you can do. It's very hurtful, and children are children, no matter what age, they're still your kid. And it does bring Mama Bear and Papa Bear out in our situation. So I know Tamara's Mama Bear is at its highest right now. And enough's enough. I mean, I think Vicky's trying to stay relevant. And so she'll do that at whatever level she has to do that. And it's really sad because I just feel like there's a line that could be drawn and it's not good.
It's not good. Yeah, no, definitely. So looking forward to that. We've talked about a lot of hard times this season, but what are some of those light moments that you're looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Well, you know what's really sad is Big Bear was a freaking hoot, and they made me look like the annoying friend, and all the girls called me after that and were like, that is not how we felt, and that is not even what happened on that trip, and I'm so sorry. And I'm like, "Oh, I know, like, what is the deal?" But that was just such a fun, it was just a blast. I wish they would show some of our fun laughing moments, because we really did laugh until the end when I got the phone call. But that was great. I think that there's going to be some really fun things coming up if they air. I mean, yeah, I can't give away much, but I think there is.
Definitely. And then finally, have you and Megan King spoken at all? I know we spoke to her recently. She said that she texted you after she found out about your engagement. I know the two of you were friends, and then she made some comments. Where do the two of you stand today?
We've made up. That was another situation where I got really defensive of John, and rightly so, because she is my friend. We do have a long friendship. She does have my cell phone. She had called me and told me that, you know, she was worried about me because I was too vulnerable. My mom had just died. Don't get back in another relationship right now. So she was trying to be a good friend in that way. But then when she went to the press and made a comment in the press after I told her, back off, I'm in love with him, I'm going to marry him, on the phone with her, I expected my friend to have my back and support me and not go try to spread more hate in the media. But you know, about 3 months went by, and then right after my engagement, she did text. She was one of the first people, and just said, "I'm so happy for you. I'm so sorry for what I did. I was obviously in the wrong." She owned it. She apologized. I said, that takes a lot, and that's big of you, and I forgive you and move on. But see, that's what an I'm sorry will do. And I'm sorry goes a long way if you mean it. And so yeah, we're fine now. And I do love her, and we've had a lot of good memories and talks and all of that. So
Good. Well, I'm glad the two of you are back on track. Alexis, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being so vulnerable. I mean, I'm sure it has been a difficult season, but you know, you put it all out there, and that's what we love about our housewives, but I'm sure it's been tough.
thank you so much for having me.